Welcome to this edition of Fat Girls. But we over here at Fat Girls, we are positive, humble, and talented. We ask that before we get into this awesome and amazing episode of content, I ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. If in the future you have any ideas that you'd like for us to talk about, please hit us up on our Facebook, which is Fat Girls, or hit us up at our email, which is fatgirls585@gmail.com. We love to hear your comments. We love to share your ideas. But most of all, we love to engage with you because over here at Fat Girls, we are well-rounded. So this is our episode entitled Heartbreak to Fabulous. And on today, we are going to talk about 10 ways that we have learned to love ourselves. And so we'll begin. So come along. All righty. So I'm going to be starting with number one, with 10 ways to love yourself. And so my number one is sorting out your emotions. I find that this is very informative for me to sort out my emotions. Here's why. Because for myself, I need to kind of understand what space am I in at all times. If I encounter an emotion, I want to always make sure that I know what brought this emotion on, what triggered it, and how can I handle it and not handle it in a bad manner. So that's why I truly believe in sorting out my emotions, because I always want to make sure that I present myself in a positive light. And sometimes when you don't sort out your emotions, you can kind of explode, which is okay sometimes. But sometimes we always want to make sure that we contain and keep ourselves intact. And so I am a firm believer of sorting out your emotions, because here's an example. Sometimes a situation may happen to me and I remember it. So my mind remembered this happened before. And so really quick, I'll do just like a backlog in my mind. And I remember, how did I handle that situation before? Was it a positive or was it a negative? If it was positive, of course, I'm going to use that again and I'm going to handle it in a positive way this time. If it was negative, I'm going to reflect on what I did wrong, and then I'm going to act accordingly. And this time, instead of acting negatively, I'm going to move positively. So I'm a firm believer of number one, sorting out your emotions.
That's awesome. I think that's a really good thing to bring up, because sometimes we don't know where they stem from or where our emotions are really causing us to act. So that's a good one. I like number one. I do. Number two would be to practice self-care. So sometimes you have to take out time to actually care for yourself. As women, we're always taking care of everybody else, but we forget about taking care of ourselves. So it's very, very important to take that special time out, whether it's 15 minutes or 10 minutes a day, or maybe an hour a week, whatever you have available, to take out that special time to do some type of self-care, whether it's doing your nails or doing a pedicure, doing a new hairstyle for yourself. YouTube is full of different videos to show you how to do different things with your hair. Different things like that, a new makeup style, just something that you're going to do specifically to care for yourself. It's so important to take out that time, because no one else is going to care for you, right? So you need to take out that special time to make sure that you're okay, because if you're not okay, then you can't help anybody else. We always tend to forget that sometimes, to where we're running and helping other people, and then we're running on E. And then the next thing you know, you got to take 2 weeks off because you're sick, or, something happened to you. And now, you have to rebuild yourself because, things resulted to you having to take out that time, when if you were just doing those little things throughout the week or throughout the month, then you wouldn't have had such a hard time, or to result in something like that. So please take that time out for self-care. It's very, very, very important.
Yes, I love that. I love number two. Self-care is very important. So that leads us to number three. And number 3 is resting your mind and your body. And that kind of just ties into self-care. So I'm just going to piggyback on self-care. Resting your mind and your body is very important. As Melinda said, we as women, we wear a lot of roles. Our mind is constantly going back and forth to and fro, so definitely there's time we need to have a mental rest. I remember when I was working in the hospital setting, and it can get busy and things like that. And sometimes the nurses would say, tomorrow I'm going to have a mental health day, which means that they were not going to come to work tomorrow because they needed a time to decompress and just rest. So also, when you continue to overtax your body, it begins to wear down and your immune system begins to get low. So resting your mind and your body is essential for you to have good mental health, good emotional health, and good spiritual health. So number 3 is resting your mind and your body.
This is a good list. There's a lot of good
This
things
is a great list.
we really need to do to help love ourselves. There's a lot of things more than the list that we're going to be doing today, but that's good stuff. You really do have to do that. Your mind and your body need rest. I know for me, my mind is always going, so I probably need to take a lot of rest from my mind, but that's a whole nother show. Number 4, one of my favorites is taking out time to do something specifically that you enjoy to do. Now, this is the one that I'm really good at. Some of the other things on the list I'm working on, but this is one of my favorites. I love to take time to do certain things that I love to do. One of the things that I love to do is watch movies. So my background, I have a degree in video production as well as radio production as well. So I've been doing it since I was 13. So, and that's been a long time. So I enjoy watching movies and certain types of movies that make me laugh, or, different movies that give me different types of emotions. I just love movies. I get so in depth with the movie I can look at the different ways they use different shots in the movie because I was trained in that, on how to do that. I'm like, now you can just point and shoot and that kind of stuff. But I was actually trained on how to shoot things, what type of shots they are, the lighting. I can tell when there's bloopers in a movie, when they've used, you can see in certain scenes where they're wearing one thing and then the next scene they're wearing it differently. Or I can tell that kind of stuff because of my background. So I love watching movies. I love seeing different things in movies that other people may not notice or see. And that's just one of my favorite things to do. And, it helps me to decompress throughout the day. I try to take out at least an hour a day to do something that I like to do. I'm also a nerd, so I go to the University of YouTube all the time, and I'm constantly learning things on YouTube. I mean, if I could get degrees from everything I've learned on YouTube, I would have like a stack of degrees. That's just how much I watch YouTube. And for me, I feel like if I'm not learning something, that my brain is just not being used correctly. So I have to learn something throughout the week. So that's another thing I enjoy to do. I love to watch YouTube. If there's something that comes up, someone mentioned something, I got to know what it is. I got to figure it out. I'm a visual person, so YouTube teaches me so much faster than reading something. I'm not a reader, but if I see a video, a couple of videos, I might watch like an hour's worth of video so that I understand the concept of something. I love doing that. So those are the kinds of things that help me to kind of tie into the other stuff, which is resting your mind, giving yourself a rest. For me, that rests my mind from my work or rests my mind from the day. It helps me to kind of rest so I can focus on something else less stressful. If work has caused me to be stressful that day, it helps me to release. Or if there's other things that were happening personally in my life, it helps me to just rest myself. So it kind of ties into the number 3. But I just enjoy, even if it's just a game on my phone, as long as I can just take out that time to do something that I enjoy, then I feel like, I get very relaxed. It helps me to relax and feel better about myself for the day, so definitely do something, whether it's 15 minutes, an hour, if you're a busy person, maybe a couple times a month, to do something that you truly, really enjoy.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about things that she enjoy. And I love number 5, which kind of ties in. And just like she said, this is not an all inclusive list. This list can go on and on. So if you have some things that you do, where you're loving yourselves, please make sure you comment and let us know. But number 5 is rewarding yourself. And I really especially enjoy that because so often we don't take time out to reward ourselves. And rewarding ourselves can kind of tie in with number 4, taking time to do things that you enjoy. So when Melinda was saying that, I really enjoy shopping. I really enjoy the aspect of shopping. And so I don't have to go out and buy $1,000 worth of things, but I just enjoy shopping. I enjoy seeing a good sale and getting things and picking up things for other people. And that's kind of how I reward myself. And people call it retail therapy, so that's how I reward myself. And also, if I see something that I really want to have for myself, I will work and strive for it, because I want to reward myself with that, because I always want me to know that I am special. I don't look for anyone else to make me feel special. I like to make myself feel special. And here's why: because I am currently single, so if I set the bar high for myself, whenever God decides to send me my Boaz, the bar will already be set. And so he will know the level that he needs to reach and above for us to continue and to remain. Why? Because I'm going to go into the relationship showing him that I love myself, and I'm going to be rewarding myself. Whether I'm going to reward myself with some roses if I so desire to have them, if I'm going to reward myself with a pair of diamond earrings, or if I'm going to even just reward myself with a bracelet that I caught on sale, or a pair of shoes, or getting my hair done, or my eyebrows waxed, whatever it is. And hear me, in no means does it need to be materialistic, but I'm going to reward myself. Now, the one thing that I'm going to let you in on a little secret, but don't tell nobody. The one thing I'm looking to reward myself with soon, I'm looking to go to a trip to Aruba. Yes, I am, honey. That's what I'm rewarding myself with, number 5. So I'm glad I got number 5, because Aruba shall be my reward. Tell us what your reward gonna be to yourself. I love to hear. And if you plan to go to Aruba or you've been to Aruba, leave some details below so I can know the do's and don'ts of Aruba.
That's right. That's awesome because I'm going to reward myself with a trip to Greece. I always wanted to go to Greece, and due to the corona, we were not able to go this year. Well, last year, excuse me. But definitely, I totally understand that. I definitely understand wanting to travel because I got the bug. I'm sure everybody's got the bug. You just want to go somewhere, whether it's the next state over or just 2 hours away from your house is somewhere different. But yes,
Yep.
that's awesome. Rewarding yourself, however little, big or small, it is definitely necessary to reward yourself, because if you do it for yourself, then it's something that other people will see. And like she said, when you're in a relationship, and whatever relationships they are, to see that you care enough to reward yourself, it heightens your value to other people. Not to say that your value is heightened by what other people think, but then they know, okay, well, I just can't come anyway with this particular person because they value themselves. So I have to treat them the same way they treat themselves or better. So that's awesome. I love that one. That's a good one. But definitely, yeah, share with us what your reward would be for yourself. And if you're traveling to any of those places, if you've ever been to Greece or you're going to Aruba, let us know, because I would love to know some key places in Greece to travel, as well as finding out about Aruba, because that is on the list. But the first one would be Greece for me.
That's right.
Number 6 would be listening to your favorite music. Now, this is twofold for me because I like listening to music, all different types of music, from country music to classical to rap to R&B to what they call what's the word? I can't think of it. Neo soul, that kind of. I love it, and I love to sing too. So I have little concerts for myself So, I'll either be in the bathroom because the acoustics are really good in the bathroom, or I'll put my headphones on and just sing away so that so that I know the neighbors are not home. If I'm home, working from home, if they're not there, I take a little break and do a little concert, and then that makes me feel good because I love to sing. So, listen to your favorite music, whether it's whatever genre. I listen to everything gospel, all of that stuff. And there's different moods. Sometimes gospel is what you really need to hear. It's something to help you motivate yourself. If that's something that you really need at time, or you may need to listen to your favorite artist. I love Drake. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't lose my saved card, but I do. I love a lot of his music. A lot of his music is awesome. I think he's a great artist. Chris Brown's another one. I really like some of his stuff. So, sometimes I have a Chris Brown day. It's a Drake Chris Brown day, and sometimes it's it might be 7th Streeter. I love her stuff. She's really, really good. I might have a 7th Streeter day and we just have a concert between the two of us. Or it might be my most favorite, Marsha Ambrosius. And I hope I meet her one day. I just love her stuff. I think she's awesome. She has a beautiful voice, and her tone is the same tone that I'm at. And she's just an amazing singer. I mean, her roles and everything. I mean, I could just do a whole show just on her. But I love her and I love her stuff. So I might have a Ambrosius week sometimes, from when she was doing the group with Floor Tree to where she is now. I just love her music. I think she's amazing. So you definitely, whatever music puts you in a great mood, that helps you out throughout the day, to help you do all the things we talked about earlier, which is taking the time out to take the stress off your mind and your body. These things, self-care even, because that helps you to be less stressed. So, it all ties in together, but that's one of my favorites. I love music. Music has helped me throughout my life, from when I was younger, dealing with things, and just helped me to forget about stuff and just, just focus on the music and the feeling I'm getting from the music and how it makes me feel. And it's helped me to get through so many different situations and scenarios that have brought me to a low place, but it's always helped me to do better in my life. So definitely, whatever your favorite music is, it will definitely be helpful in healing.
I love it. I love it. Now you said all genres. So do you like jazz?
I like the jazz that you listen in the elevator. You know what I mean? That kind of jazz. I don't like because my grandfather listened to a certain kind of jazz that to me is like, but the certain type, like you go to the store jazz, that kind of jazz, I can deal with that. But there's certain types of jazz that I just can't.
Well, that's understandable. So, once again, whatever your favorite genre of music is, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to discuss it.
Absolutely.
I would love to hear some of the many different genres that are out there. I do like jazz. Jazz is kind of soothing, so I really like jazz, and I like country. But I only got into country when my first daughter was in high school. She started liking country, so we was listening to it, and I was like, okay, sound kind of decent to me. So I like country as well. So that's something good to listen to. Music is just so soothing. It is. No matter what you may be going through, you can find a song for whatever, and it'll just give you calmness and give you a sense of peace. So I really like to listen to music as well. And that brings us to number 7, which is being the best me that I can be. And so I really like number 7. I like them all, but number 7 is really good because as long as you know that you are being the best you that you can be, don't measure yourself to somebody else's standards. Don't make your standards be lower due to somebody else. And just make sure that you're comfortable with you. And as long as you are comfortable with being the best you that you can be, then that's all that matters. Because guess what? Everybody runs a race at a different pace. How do I know? Because that's why there's first place, second place, third, and so on. So you run your race at the pace that's desired for you, that makes it comfortable for you. And in the end, you'll be happy with yourself. You'll be comfortable with who you are. And then in turn, you're going to be the best you that you can be. So don't measure yourself to anybody else. Measure yourself to your own standards And in return, you'll be the best you that you can be. And guess what? That's also a part of loving yourselves, because sometimes we can not like ourselves because we measure ourselves. Oh, it's 30, I'm 25 and I should have been married, or I'm 30 and I should have had 2.5 kids, or I'm this and I should have had that. You know, you can't measure your life by what the world says. Measure your life by what makes you happy. And whatever makes you happy, do that. Walk in that vein. And guess what? That's you being the best you that you can be.
Absolutely, because no one can do you better than you.
Yeah.
Nobody can do you better than you. So
I
definitely,
like that.
you know, I'm learning that day by day, but nobody can do the best you than you. So definitely, that's a good one. These are all good. I like it. Oh,
These are good. Yeah, they're good.
I think they all kind of tie into each other, kind of like extending each other. They're all kind of working together in the list. But I definitely like that. That's good. That's you can't be anybody else but yourself. That's the truth.
Everybody else is taken. Just be
Yeah,
you.
that's right. That's a good one too. Yeah, everybody else is taking. That's right. Absolutely, absolutely. So this may be a little different. So
Okay.
you might say something in the comments about it, like I've never heard that one on the list before. Well, we're different. We're fat girls. We're gonna do things. We're creative. We're different, right? We're positive. We're humble, and we're talented. So this is
Yes.
in our list. So being in a dark room. I know that sounds a little weird. Like, what does she mean by being in a dark room? Well, for me, I like being in dark rooms. I don't like a lot of light. I never have. My mom has always come in my room and said, "Hey, why is it so dark in here? Open up a window, turn a light on." Even at work, I don't have my lights on. I don't like a lot of light. So for me, I'm very comfortable in a darker room. I get really like stressed out sometimes if it's too light. Even right now, I got the light on me for the recording, and it's like it's a lot. I think I'm light enough. I don't need extra light. But I'm very comfortable and it soothes me to be in a dark room. So for some of you, it might be something that can help you to relax. Of course, when we go to bed and we go to sleep, usually it's dark. It's a dark place to help you to go to sleep and relax. And so for me, I like to be in dark rooms because it makes me feel very relaxed, very calm. I usually watch movies. The only light is coming from the TV. So, we thought to add this to the list because, darkness does really kind of coincide with relaxation. So maybe getting into a dark room will help you to decompress from the day or help you to think more about yourself or focus a little bit more being in a dark room without all the distractions. Because light can be kind of distractive in a way. So we just thought to add that to the list, something a little different. But I think if you really, think about it, it really could be very helpful in helping you to really care about yourself because you are in a calm space and it does decompress you and it does help you to relieve stress, which is part of loving you, is getting the stress out. A lot of us have a lot of issues with our bodies just from stress. The doctor can't figure out what it is. I got this tick in my neck. I don't know what it is. It's that stress in your neck. You know what I mean? It's 9 times out of 10, it's usually stress related, something that's going on with your body that has developed. And being in a dark room could help you to relieve that kind of stuff, which is also taking care of yourself, practicing self-care, which is in turn loving yourself, So that's something that we added to the list. It's a little bit different. And you heard it first here on the Fat Girl Show.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love the concept of being in a dark room. And so, because I'm going to discuss the elephant in the room, if you see me slightly struggling, I'm struggling with my granddog. And so my granddog is here. And for some reason, he loves Zoom. And he thinks that he should be on Zoom, even though I'm talking about self-care and how to love yourself, which has nothing to do with him. He wants to be in. So if you see me struck, I don't have a seizure disorder or anything. I'm trying to keep him out the video. But he wants to talk and say something.
He's got a list. He has something he wants to put on the list, I think.
So that is why I'm kind of jerking. So Just so you know. But it's all real time, and we're real people. And I definitely wanted you to know what was going on. And so that brings us to number 9. And so before I get into number 9, I really like Melinda was talking about the dark room. And so what kind of made me think about it is sometimes when people suffer from migraines, they'll tell them if you go into a dark room and listen to soothing music, listen, these are some of the things we've already talked about.
Yeah.
They guarantee that the pulsating in your head will continue to slowly dissipate. Why? Because the light isn't bothering your eyes and the music is calming to your brain and to your spirit. So these are ways that even they teach you how to love yourselves. Whoever knew? We just never knew. So if you ever suffer from a migraine, I want to encourage you to go into a dark room and listen to some nice soothing music. Now, your nice soothing music may be whatever your choice is, as long as it brings peace and comfort unto you. So that gets us into number 9. Number 9 is no longer accepting abuse. And so you may say, well, how does that mean that you're loving yourself? Because you value yourself enough. Because remember, we talked about you being the best you that you can be. You love yourself so much till you are no longer accepting abuse. Now, if you are a woman, a young girl, older woman with wisdom, and you're thinking abuse, I don't want you to think about abuse as in a male, abusing you. Because guess what? We can be in so many different relationships that can be abusive. There can be abuse from your family members, abuse from friends, this abuse from your co-workers,
Right.
different things like that. So now listen, abuse, it can be physically, it can be verbally, it can be mentally, it can be emotionally. But our number 9 as us being or becoming fat girls is we will no longer put up with abuse. Why? Because we value who we are. We understand that we are of high regard. We understand that we are queens and we are princesses, and we do not have to take the abuse from others. And abuse can come in all different forms, and we'll definitely have a segment
Absolutely.
on abuse and the forms that it takes. But I thought this was so befitting for this learning to love yourself, and I wanted to put this on the list. And as I had shared earlier, with abuse, I myself have struggled with abuse, and I don't want to get into too depth of the situation, but I have went through abuse, and so I have decided that I will no longer put up with the abuse. And the abuse that I'm talking about is mental abuse and it's emotional abuse, and I've decided that I no longer will put up with it because I am deemed worthy because I am somebody. So if number 9 resonates with you very heavily, please put it in the comments. Let's have a dialogue about it. This is a no judgment zone. Because guess what? We're here to help you. And in turn, we want you to help us. So please comment about number 9 about abuse. I'd love to hear from you. Melinda would love to hear from you. And guess what? We're not experts. We don't have a PhD in different things of abuse. But guess what? Experience is the best teacher. So any way that we can help you, we're here for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because, like you said, it's so many different forms of abuse. We all sometimes you think about it in a smaller range, but abuse comes in all different ways, comes in all different types of people, relationships, and things of that nature. So yeah, absolutely. And I know we are definitely going to do a lot more talking and dialogue about that because abuse is it affects so many people in so many different ways, and it can affect you a lot deeper than what you think. And we won't get too in depth about that now, but we definitely will have some other shows that we will do about that specific scenario because it affects so many people. And a lot of times you don't even realize that that's what's going on that's affected you is because of past abuse, especially for mental abuse, verbal abuse, that kind of thing. So we won't get into that today, but yes. But coming to the last one, a great list. I love the list. I think the list is awesome. But we're coming down to the last thing. We think that it's really, really important. And one of the main things, in order for you to love yourself, you have to forgive yourself.
Yes.
That is a daily, for me, sometimes hour by hour thing, because of, different reasons why you may blame yourself for certain things. Maybe you'll blame yourself because they're not in a specific career yet, or you haven't gotten married yet, or you haven't had, you don't have a lot of money saved in the bank, or there's so many different reasons why we can blame ourselves for so many different things. And forgiveness is not for the situation or a person, it's for you, because you can't move forward without forgiving yourself. Because if you're holding yourself accountable for all of these things you've done wrong, I know before we mentioned in our first episode that, we serve God, we believe in Jesus Christ. That's who we serve, and if that's not someone you serve, then, this is an open space. We welcome everyone, because this is about us as women. We're here to support each other, but everybody's background is different. But for me, being taught through being a believer of Jesus Christ, forgiveness is a major thing. And for me, I haven't been able to move forward in my life because of certain ways that I did not forgive myself and holding myself blame. And even to this day, there's some things that I haven't forgiven myself for that I'm working on. But the more that I have accepted that forgiveness for myself, knowing that he's forgiven me, and to accept it, you can know that he's forgiving you, but accepting it is something completely different. So to forgive yourself is so healing, and gives you the ability to love yourself. Because if you don't forgive yourself about certain things, then you're not going to take the time out to say self-love. You're not going to take out the time to practice self-care. You're not going to take out the time to rest your mind. You're not going to take out the time to reward yourself because you don't feel you deserve it, because you yourself, right? So it's so important for you to come to a point in your life where you just have to let it go and forgive yourself that, hey, you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Hey, yeah, you made that dumb decision when you were 15 years old, or a scenario, maybe it wasn't even your fault, but you're holding yourself accountable for something that's not even your fault. It's time to forgive yourself for those things so that you can move forward, so that you can be healthy, so that you can take, enjoy things. Sometimes you can't even enjoy things, or life for that matter, because you keep hurting yourself by not forgiving yourself. So it's so important. Doesn't mean I would like you to share as well, as far as that's concerned, because I think it's just a really important part of the list, because you can't do any of these things on the list if you don't forgive yourself.
Right. Well, that was amazing. And I'm so glad that number 10 is forgiving yourself. And just how Melinda said, in all things, you have to forgive yourself, whether the situation was intentional or not. Like she said, you cannot move on, and the thing about it is, if someone has hurt you, you have to forgive them. Here's the key to that. You forgiving them is not for them. It's for you. It is to set you free. Because the thing is, when you don't forgive someone or even yourself, you're continuing to be held in bondage. What does that mean? You can't go forward. You can't go back. You're just going to continue to be at a stagnated place. And then you're going to feel depressed, and you're going to be down on yourself. And as she went through the list, you're going to feel like you don't deserve any of those things because you haven't forgiven yourself. Now, sometimes forgiveness is easier said than done. But I want to say that if you continue to work on it and practice it every day, sooner than later, you will feel that sense of peace. You will feel that sense of forgiveness. You will feel like those bricks taken off your shoulders, where your shoulders are lighter and you're feeling better. So in all things, forgiving yourself is the key. No matter what happens, you need to forgive yourself. Because if you don't, it can be detrimental to you. What do I mean by that? It's detrimental because you're going to stay stagnated. You may stay there. You may become angry. You may become distrustful. You may become jealous. You may become envious. You don't want any of those characteristics, because those are so many characteristics that can hold you back and hold you hostage. So If you are struggling with forgiving yourselves, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk to you about ways that we've learned to forgive ourselves, the process that it took. Now, listen, the process is not always going to be easy, but it's doable, it's workable, and it can be done. So we love to encourage you and show you how to forgive yourself, because no matter how many lists that you go through or how many things that you try, until you learn to forgive yourself, it'll all be in vain.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I have enjoyed this list. I think that this is it's going to be very helpful for other people, but I know for me that this list is going to help me out for my 21, excuse me, 20. It's so hard to believe we're in 21, but 2021, I think this is a good way for even for this February, Valentine's Day. This is the time period where some people are not in relationships, and then it's my birthday. But I'm not married. Yay to me. But but this list is gonna help me to be able to get through that day, even though I'm not getting the roses or anything. Maybe I'll send myself some roses. Maybe I'll send myself some chocolate. That's okay, because I can self-love myself, right? And I can reward myself with the chocolate and with the flowers or whatever I want to do that day for my birthday. But I just want all of you to know, because this episode we're actually going to be posting it on Valentine's Day for that reason, because we wanted you to know that regardless of who is giving you gifts on this day or not, that you have to still love you, because you're still important no matter what. And these are some things that you can do on that day and even after that day to take really good care of yourself and self-love yourself, because Valentine's Day is about love, but loving yourself is the most important. It's basically what I want to say with this list. So definitely use the list. Let us know how the list has influenced you in the comments. Let us know, or email us at fatgirls585@gmail.com. Let us know how the list has influenced you. Try it out for a month and let us know. We'll do a one of the shows to kind of see what people are doing, and we'll answer questions or comments or share the comments with people who have sent us to let us know how the list has influenced them after getting it from this particular episode. And if this is your first time viewing our show, we are Fat Girls. We're here, we're positive, we're humble, and we're talented. We're here to work with all types of women, to encourage you, to help you to be the best you can be. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you are a subscriber already and you have been keeping up with us on all of our episodes, we thank you for being a subscriber and being part of this channel. We thank you for liking our content, or even if you've given us suggestions. Thank you for that. We wouldn't do what we do without you watching us. So we really appreciate you taking out the time to go through the list and to see what we had to say about it. Please make sure to comment, to subscribe, and get the notifications to see when we're going to be doing our next shows. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of awesome things this year. It'll be a whole video just to explain all the things that we have planned for this year. So definitely stick with us, and we'll stick with you. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being a fat girl.